Hi guys. So today I'm going to reveal the secret of number of dimensions. In the network world, in the cyber world, there have been ongoing talks or discussions about the number of dimensions. And some people claim that there are 8 dimensions, there are 11 dimensions, there are 12 dimensions. No, that's not actually correct. Even in our Vedic books, it's been written, and once we study or analyze the Vedic books properly, we can understand how many dimensions are there. So I'm going to reveal the number of dimensions that are there in the universe, in the parallel universes, and everywhere. So let's start one by one. So this section, it's going to be something which is an eye-opening for the world. So let's move. Now, what are these dimensions? Let's see. Now, according to the Hindu Purana, so I'm quoting from the Hindu Puranas, there are 14 worlds which are often referred to as 14 lokas. What are these 14 lokas? So does it mean that there are 14 dimensions? No. 14 lokas, or where the ultimate source or the ultimate soul is called Lord Vishnu or Krishna, who is considered the master of all the 14 lokas, and he's often referred to as the master of 2 into 7 lokas or 14 lokas. So what is this 2 cross 7 or 2 into 7 it is? So what are these 14 worlds? Now it gives an insight into the secret of dimensions, these 14 worlds referred to in the Hindu Puranas or in the Sanskrit. Now let's see what it is. Now 14 worlds is often referred to as 2 cross 7, that is 14. So according to this, there are 7 dimensions altogether, 7 dimensions. But then you might be wondering, but there are 14, right? How come it's 7? Now, with both positive and negative for each dimension, you know that similar to a battery, similar to a charge, similar to everything, even your blood group, it's like positive as well as negative. So, or a yes or a no. So, or a good or a bad or a evil or good. So, it's like so all these 7 dimensions, or for each dimension, there are good or the positive as well as the negative dimension. I'm not telling whether it's good or bad. It depends on the context. So with positive and negative for each dimension, we calculate it as 2 into 7D. That is for every dimension 2. Negative and positive, that is, it makes it 14. So altogether, there are only 7 dimensions. So that's a fact, scientifically proven fact, based on Hindu mythology or Hindu Puranas, whatever. Now let's start by analyzing what are these dimensions. Now, first dimension, or 1D, first one dimension is where we live or the material world exists. It's the x-axis, where we commonly call. Now, what is 2D? Same as one dimensional, but a bit deeper. Like length and breadth. So, or the y-axis. It's also called the emotional world. So, where our emotions comes into existence, it's the 2D. Now, what is 3D? 3D is much deeper. It's a Z coordinate. According to the scientific or mathematical formulas, it's Z coordinate where we reach that once we start forgiving people. Depth. It's also called the depth. It's length, breadth, and that depth, the third factor. Now, people are aware about 1D, 2D, and 3D. Now, starting from 4D, which is usually referred to as the higher dimensions. Now, what are these higher dimensions? Now, 4D, which is called a time dimension. Now, this dimension is where we know all the emotions exist, but time determines these emotions or dimension. Like, based on the time, the emotions can grow higher or it can come down. So time is a determining factor in this fourth dimension. So time determines what will happen in the one dimension, what will happen in the two dimension, what will happen in the third dimension. So time is the determining factor. Even we come across this dimension all the time. So we are living in a time, a single dimension, a single time dimension now, as of now, with different branches, with the different branches. Now let's analyze what is 5 dimension. Next to time dimension, there's a bridge to the higher spiritual dimension, something which is called as 5 dimension. Now what happens is if you attain this level, sometimes saints or yogis or rishis, they attain this level of 5 dimension. So for them, time become irrelevant. So time travel is possible for these people. So even gods who are at a higher level can travel through time. So for them, the time, the relevance of time is nothing. So they can travel. So this is called 5 dimension. Now, whenever a person die or a person gets moksha, or the soul directly goes, or that energy will go to 4 dimension and 5 dimension based on the power or the power of that soul. I would say power. It means that energy of that soul. So if the soul possesses higher energy, it will enter the 5 dimension. If the soul is of lower energy, it will be in the fourth dimension. So usually people attain moksha or called, if it goes up to higher dimensions like 5D or 60 or 70. So 60 is often called as a moksha, you know, but 60 is not actually moksha because, even a soul entering 60 will, there is a chance that, it might come for a rebirth. Now 60 is where God is supposed to be living. God means not the ultimate God. It's not the supreme God that I'm referring to. Now the God is supposed to be living or existing in this dimension. However, not the supreme one resides here. Now the parallel universes with the same coordinate travel possible is here. Like, suppose uh, maybe another world with the same coordinate as our world exists in the sixth dimension. So we can travel from here to that world, not to all the parallel universes, only to those parallel universes where the coordinates are equal to our world. So that travel is possible in the sixth dimension. Now Lord Shiva, or the other lords, are supposed to be residing in the sixth dimension. Now there are millions or hundreds of six dimensional gods, or billions of six dimensional gods in different universes. Now, then you might ask, now who is controlling all these gods in different parallel or millions or billions of parallel universes? It's the one who is residing in the seventh dimension, who is often referred to as the Supreme One or the one and only God, which the concept of one God comes. That's seventh dimension. Now, according to the Hindu mythology or the Hindu Puranas, that Supreme God is called Lord Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. Now he can travel and watch all the seven positive and negative dimensions. Hence 2 cross 7 or 14 worlds master he is called. Now he watches all the other gods in the sixth dimension, billions of gods in billions of universe. So only for him it's possible to travel to all the parallel universes, not the gods in the sixth dimension. Now the gods in the sixth dimension or the souls in the sixth dimension can travel to that particular coordinate parallel universes. However, not to all the parallel universes. Only the one or the soul which is attaining moksha, that soul reaches seventh dimension. So only that soul or that supreme one can travel, or can move from all the universes together, all the parallel universes, billions and billions of parallel universes. Only that god can travel. So this is the concept of dimensions, and not something that people claim there are 14 dimension, 12 dimension. No, nothing. Now if you see that 5D, if you see the fifth dimension where the time travel is possible, independent different timelines. If you see the sixth dimension and fifth dimension, even in fifth dimension we can travel from past and future, in different through different timelines. But even in sixth dimension, in different universes we can travel, different parallel universes with the same coordinates. Now this is it guys. So that's from me. So next I'm going to reveal the secret behind, maybe Kailash Parvat, which is supposed to be in a different dimension. I'll tell you which dimension Kailash Parvat is going to be. Anyway, it's not Kailash Parvat is not in the seventh dimension for sure. So in my next video I'm going to reveal that. So watch out this space for, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.